What's up? You've got Rob from Terror at Synth High, and today we learn how to make a drink based on Suspiria from a professional mixologist. And then I dump it into my face. What's up, guys? You've got Rob from Terror at Synth High. I'm here with Steve. He's a professional mixologist, and he's going to show us how to make a drink based on Dario Argento's 1977 classic Suspiria. What's up, Steve? How you doing, man?
Rob, how's it going?
It's going. It's going.
So when you first reached out and was asking me which movie I'd want to pick, immediately I thought of Suspiria. It's been a fan favorite of mine. It's kind of got me into the Italian horror scene. So I thought, why not? Start with that one, and that's the one that started it all for me. So that was my main inspiration. And after that, went to all those other films and then Fulci's films and went from there. So definitely excited to do an homage to the first movie I saw of his.
Hell yeah. And yeah, I know when I was asking you about this, when I was thinking about starting this segment, about, drinks based on horror movies and themes and all, you were one of the first people I thought of, obviously. And then the first thing I was just like, I wonder what he's going to pick. I'm just like, I know it's going to be Italian, but I'm not, I'm not sure which one it's going to be. So I figured it might be this. And I actually had to go back and watch Suspiria again. It's been a couple years for me, actually, which is too
Oh
long.
wow, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, love the movie. It's a classic. A lot of the obviously the playing on the light and
Hmm.
the use of that in the movie and the filming of the movie, which I know you've incorporated a lot into the drink. And I have had the opportunity to have this drink before, so this will not be my first time. My version is slightly different. I didn't have one of the ingredients exactly that Steve, so I used a comparable ingredient, and I don't have the bitters or one of the toppings, but I'll let Steve talk about that. I just wanted to get into first right before we get into that, just how me and Steve know each other. Steve's sister is my girlfriend, and that works out really well for me because I think the last the last girl that I was dating that had a brother um, was he was shooting squirrels with a 22 and putting them in the freezer. And and later we'd like find him and be like, oh, I don't even know if he's eating them, if he's just shooting them for fun or what. And do your
Which makes a good horror movie, though.
that's true, but it was a little too close for me. It was a little too close for comfort.
Too close, yeah.
I don't think
It
he
was
liked
real life
me much
horror.
either, so that didn't really play into it.
Yeah,
But
you couldn't exactly just turn that off.
yeah. So shortly after starting to go out with my current girlfriend, it came apparent that her where she learned about horror movies was from you. And then I'm just like, oh, cool. And then she's like, oh yeah, he's into a lot of Italian horror movies. I'm like, oh, really? Sweet. So then me and Steve started talking about that and all. And yeah, so on top of that, Steve is, like I said, a professional mixologist. So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about what that means and a little bit about your training?
Well, I have a few different certifications. I have one through Court Masters. It's a sommelier certification, so it's a wine certification. I also have the equivalent, but for beer, which is called the Cicerone, and that goes through that program. And I also have one through Society of Wine Educators, which is specialists of spirits. So a little bit of everything: wine, beer, spirits, all of
I like all those, so that works out really
it.
well.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, Steve. So, like you talked a little bit about, your inspiration. This is one of the first movies that really got you into, this style of cinema and like the Italian style of cinema, and then, a lot of other opened the door to a lot of horror movies for you. I think that's probably true for a lot of people. This is usually one of the first ones that people see in the Italian style. I know it was for myself too. Um, why don't you just walk us through this drink and show us what you came up with? Because I thought it was quite impressive talking about themes, how thematic this drink was. But why don't you show everybody how to make it? And I have one ready here, and then afterwards we can have a drink together.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I thought of it for inspiration for the film, it's just so colorful. Argento said he was extremely inspired by Sleeping Beauty. It was one of the first Technicolor films to be released, and he was just so inspired by all the bright, vibrant colors. So he actually tried to mimic that kind of color and imagery in his film, and that's one of the things that blew me away in the movie. I've never seen a horror movie so colorful and so deliberate in its choice of colors, just going down a hallway and it's just bright neon green, just because. So
Yeah.
I was very inspired by that, and that would put me some ideas in my head about what kind of liquors to put in this drink. So I'm going to show you the liquors right now. It also plays into the different flowers that you see in the secret room.
Door, or I think it's called
the secret door. Yeah, the irises.
Yeah, right.
So let me get those liquors ready.
Awesome.
Okay, so here are the main ingredients for the drink. There's 3 base liquors for the drink. Argento was very inspired by the use of 3s in the film. He spoke about this magic triangle where there's this point where France, Switzerland, and Germany meet, and supposedly there's a lot of superstition and magic behind that. There's also the idea of the 3 witches in the film. So I use that for the base of the drink to have 3 main liquors in the drink. The first one is Empress Gin. It's got this nice indigo color to it. There's also a blue iris in the film on the secret door. There's 4 main flowers that you see on the secret door, and the blue one is actually the secret that the main girl at the beginning, before she dies, says into the microphone or into the call box.
Right.
So that was one I picked for that. The film also takes place in the Black Forest, so they do a lot of Kirschwasser, they call it. It's a liqueur with cherries. So I picked this one, and this is relating to the white flower that you see on the door as well. The next one is Strega. This is a very interesting, let me get that a little closer. Very interesting liqueur. It's got a lot of cinnamon, saffron, and juniper notes to it. It's a lot of history actually to this liquor. It's made in Italy. It comes from the Campania region in Benevento. And that region is actually historically known to have a large coven of witches present. So I've known about this liquor for quite some time. Very unique, very strange taste, but I've always wanted to make a drink with it. And I thought this was perfect for the movie. It's about a coven of witches, so why not? So that's also got the nice yellow color that the other iris has. And the last iris, this isn't a liquor. It's just basic cranberry juice. Try and find one that's all cranberry juice and not a blend or a mix, just cranberry itself. So this drink is actually inspired by a classic cocktail called a corpse reviver. It's meant to wake up the dead. It's meant you've been drinking all night, and the next day you just need a pick-me-up to, get back to earth. So it's designed to be extremely easy to make. It's all the same parts. So it's all 1 ounce of everything. So 1 ounce gin, 1 ounce Kirschwasser, 1 ounce Strega, and the 1 ounce cranberry juice. So these are all the main ingredients here. There's also 1 ounce of lemon juice in there as well. A little bit of Amareno cherry syrup. And then absinthe. This one actually isn't going in the drink. It's just going to be a wash, but I'll explain that later. Which also has this excellent green color to it, perfectly reminiscent of a lot of the color schemes in the film. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is just pour all the ingredients right into your mixing glass. Okay, so after the gin, the Strega, the cherry brandy, and the cranberry juice are poured in there, you're gonna wanna get the cherry syrup or the cherry juice, and this is what you call a bar spoon. Get about 1 bar spoon. If you like it a little sweeter, but the drink's already pretty sweet, so I'd only go with 1. Mixture in there. Okay, and after that, you're gonna get a mixing tin with ice. Shake that up. I already pre-chilled cocktail glass because it's a lot easier for the absinthe to stick to the cup. So you're going to want to have that ready, already pre-chilled. You can always put ice in there with water to chill it and get it nice and frosty. What you're going to do is put the absinthe in the glass, put about 1 ounce, and you're going to want to give it just kind of a nice, good swirl. Get it all around the glass, and then you just rinse it out. So you can either dump it out. I like absinthe, so I'm saving that. Just pour that out there. So that's called a wash. You just rinse the glass with it and then dump it. All right, so after that, pour the drink on in the glass. Got this nice kind of neon red pink color, again reminiscent of the movie. And I like to garnish it with a lemon peel and 3 cherries, again going in on the 3s that are prevalent in the film. And there you have it. I call this the Black Queen. That is the name of Matter Tenenbaum's character in the film.
Awesome. That is quite the fancy drink, my friend, and quite the colorful one too. So, Steve, I've got my drink already pre-made right here. I see you've got yours. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Before I forget, you might not be able to find this, but if you can, just to balance out all the sweetness, I would add a little bit of cherry bitters to it. This brand is the Fee Brothers. They're based out of Rochester, New York. You might be able to find it, you might not. You can always order on Amazon. But a couple dashes of this is gonna balance out the sweetness of all the liqueurs, and it's just gonna have a nice finishing touch to it.
That's one thing that I don't have in mind. That and the cherries I don't have in mind. But yeah, so if people can't find that, can they just substitute any other cherry bitters? Is there anything that's particular about that one?
If it's cherry bitters, yeah. Any other kind of bitters aren't going to have the same effect to it. So if you don't have it, I just would omit it. But the cherry juice is going to change up. Obviously, you saw the color. That was a big difference from your drink and mine. It's going to give it a nice, more reddish kind of pink color to it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, mine's definitely a different color.
Yeah, the Amarena syrup is really going to add that nice kind of ruby pink color to it. Without that, it is going to be a kind of paler color to it. So definitely I would recommend getting that. It doesn't have to be that brand. You can find different brands of Amarena cherries. There's also Luxardo cherries that you can find too as well. But you just want the nice kind of like small cocktail cherries, and just use that syrup that comes in the jar. I definitely wouldn't use that like bright red maraschino cherry juice. That's just going to be way too sweet.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I was thinking about doing it, and then I looked it up, and I was like, nah, this ain't right. This ain't going to be the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty different.
Yeah. So, Steve, I don't know half as much about liquor as you do, but I like to drink. And I like horror movies. So this is working really well for me.
Takes practice and a lot of drinking. A lot of reading and a lot of drinking.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What's really awesome is that you came up with this, I think, within like 2 days of us talking about it. And it's delicious. And it's got a very, it's got a very like kind of refined, like very, very dark cherry flavor to me that's still kind of like a little bit tangy. Maybe it's just because you put the seed in my head, but it tastes very Italian to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the Italian So I'd never had liquor strega before, ever heard of it, and I love amaros, so that is delicious.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very interesting liqueur. I ended up getting it with this kind of tint to it. It's got this weird little bird on it. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
But yes, as soon as I heard the history about it, I was like, oh man, I have to have this, and I got to do. I always thought in my head I got to do a cocktail, a horror themed cocktail, based off of this liqueur, just because it's so weird, so wacky,
Yeah, for sure.
very unique taste to it. Not many liquors do you taste like saffron in it,
Yeah,
so
yeah, right.
very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So does this drink? You said it would be a corpse reviver, is what it really classifies as. I've never had one of those either. So are there a lot of
So
different types of corpse revivers, or is there like how's that? What?
there is, I believe there's 4 or 5 of corpse survivors, but I modeled it off of corpse survivor number 1, which just it still has gin. It's got Cointreau in it, which is an orange liqueur. Lillet Blanc, which is French wine, spirit, and lemon juice, and the absinthe rinse. So it was very similar. So I wanted to use that, and just kind of do my own spin on it and fit it to the movie, and choose some different ingredients that made sense to the film. But the main thing was when I saw the secret door of the 4 irises, and it had a white, red, yellow, and blue. I was like, oh, I got to do something with this. This is pretty integral to the movie. Right from the beginning of the film, they talk about well, you don't know what they're talking about, but the flower is going to be a pivotal part in the film.
Right. And yeah, like I said, I think you hit the nail on the head. Bravo, sir. And
Thank you.
I think that it's going to be a problem next time I watch this movie because this goes down way too quick, and I'm just going to be. So
And it's strong too. It's
yeah.
definitely a strong drink.
So all
And
right,
especially if you don't throw out the absinthe.
man. Yeah.
Absinthe is like 65%. This one is clocking in at 65% alcohol. So it's pretty strong. I definitely like to after you have a drink, maybe sip on that. Brings out a little more notes of the drink. Just because it's a light coating. A lot of people don't like absinthe, so that's why it's just a rinse and then or a wash. But I enjoy absinthe, so I will definitely sip on that afterwards.
Awesome, man. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today. I know you got a couple other
Thank
horror
you.
drinks in the works that we were talking about, so I'd love to have you back and
Yeah,
do this again. And
a lot more coming up.
let's keep it going. All right, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, Rob.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video of Steve teaching us how to make a Black Queen. He'll be back with some other videos soon about other horror-themed drinks and creating those on the channel. Also, let us know what you'd like to see. What themed drinks would you like to see, either done by Steve or just on this channel in general. Also, let us know if you liked the Black Queen, if you tried it. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. And let us know so we can keep this coming to you. Man, that was tasty. I could go for another.
Oh, God damn it, Dario Argento.